Hey everybody, Jack Acid with ApexHead.com bringing you episode 4 of Ferrari versus the World. Going to be taking you out in the 2004 F430 today, and we will be competing in the Class S Asian Tour events, and namely at the Twin Ring in Japan. And as you can see, I'm turning down the option to upgrade my car. The only rule for Ferrari versus the World is that I race with Ferrari and I have to compete with one class above me. Taking a look at our assists here, you can see that I have none enabled. And as I was just mentioning, this is an S-Class event. I will be the only A-Class car in the running, so we'll see what we can do against stiffer competition. And given that it's medium AI, that's usually not that big of a deal, but it does keep the race interesting, at least typically. So let's see, here we are to start. And a little bit of wheel spin up to second gear, and you can see that I'm now wheel to wheel with the blue car. Going to be negotiating on the outside if I can, but I'm cut off. And hard braking into turn one. Trying to keep it on the inside and slight contact with the yellow car, but able to sneak up into P5. And actually, I'm not sure if I did make contact with the yellow car. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty inconsequential. Going to go ahead and have a look on the inside to try and get P4 here. And able to get that pretty easy as we head into this very sharp hairpin here. Now taking a look on the outside of the P3 car, but decide not to be too aggressive very early on into this race. Only a two-lapper. I do typically use the first lap of the race to get a feel for the corners and the edges of the car. As I mentioned before, really not that familiar with this circuit, so I have no problem following the AI, at least for now. And run out of road, basically going too fast and brake too late, and skip off into the dirt just a bit, but as you can see, able to get right back into the back of the P3 car. So right now, pace is looking pretty strong despite the class difference. And the big question will be how we handle the straights, but for now going to negotiate on the outside of the P3 car, break it down into second gear and keep it sort of steady, and we're going to loop around here to the right, also staying in second gear, and want to accelerate out and not going to be able to get around the orange car here. So let's see if we can take a look in this very sharp angled corner here. And swinging around, not able to get ahead. And now coming down to the very sharp hairpin just before the long straight at the end of the track. Going to take a look at the outside again. Drop it down into second gear and feather it around the hairpin here before the start-finish straight. Give it some gas and see if we can get that P3 spot. Accelerating out, and you can see that I do not quite have the pace over the P3 car. AI accelerated pretty well out of that corner, so not able to get around there. But let's see what happens at the next corner, only in lap 1. And I'm going to continue going around the outside, relying on being able to take corners faster than them. And in addition to that, the AI is notorious for smashing into you if you take too much inside leverage. You can see I go a little too fast there, and the orange car able to overtake to get up to P2. And there goes the P3 car. So just like that, up to P3. And this looks like my only real competition in front of us. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the car behind me, but he basically totally slowed down and was easy pickings. And now coming down into a very hard right hairpin, there goes the leader off into the dirt, and that's going to put the orange car into P1. Oh, slight contact. AI went very slow through there. I have no idea why. You can tell that he's well short of his line in terms of his speed going through there. So, but for now it doesn't matter, chasing him down for the lead position. We will want to get by him as soon as we can, as we are on the last lap. Going to go around the outside here, drop it down into second gear, and have to maintain second position for now. Slow coming up around here, but not able to get around him. He's got pretty good pace, and you can see here on the straights he does have an edge over me, so I want to get around him before we get into the final straight, but we've got a ways to go. And this is probably my least favorite corner of the circuit. The apex just absolutely falls away, but you can see that thanks to the AI actually going through a corner right, or at least without going off, I was able to follow him and maintain a pretty good line. And now making a pass on the outside, not going to get around him. And now almost wheel to wheel, and going to challenge him on the inside of this apex, keeping it in second gear. And let's see if he tries to take inside position. And now you can see the white car has caught up with us. And I'm able to get a little bit of a gap here, and now I want to be mindful of the P3 car. He's made up ground, and if I make any mistakes, he could be there to take advantage. And you can see I go a little wide there, and able to pull ahead just a bit heading into this very sharp hairpin, heading down the long straight. And let's see if we can maintain inside leverage, keep it in second gear, and I'm not challenged anywhere. You can see the AI pretty far back. So if I can keep this gap, I should be okay. But again, the orange car behind me running in P2 does have pace over me on the straights, but you can see with the gap as it stands now, almost just over 4.5 seconds, which is completely erased at the brake point. You can tell that I don't know the track very well. I slowed down too early, and you can see the AI shot almost got around me on the inside there, so I basically dodged a bullet heading into these strange little twists and chicanes here as we head into the final stretch here for the win. And you can see that the AI is pretty well behind me and I should have no problem, but I am watching my rear view mirror because sometimes the AI can sneak up on you, but that will not be the case here. So there you have it. And as I send you off with some race highlights, I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any interest, I have a lot more Forza 4 videos posted. I've got a Porsche series, a Let's Drive Auto Vista series, as well as an Escape Zero series, which is basically just miscellaneous events and cars, some with commentary, so feel free to check that out. And as for me, back to the grind, going to break out some more Ferrari and see what they can do when the chips are down in Ferrari versus the world. Thanks again.